case studies, and then I'm going to open it up for questions. So this case study involves Oscar Mayer. This is currently going on, and it's a pretty interesting idea. Oscar Mayer created an opportunity for fans to create their own campaigns that promote viral sharing. So the idea here is that the coupons and the value goes up as more people share this promotion. So the Oscar Mayer campaign, you can see the homepage here. So do I have a little pointer? No, I guess not. Oops. That was a bad idea. So anyway, the idea here is that they have a Facebook app that they created that shows all of the different products that they have. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to offer their consumers a coupon to try the product and then come back and share what they're calling a testimonial. So of course that's a great marketing term for a testimonial that they can reuse in other places like their website or their couponing or their offline promotions. And then every time 5,000 people share a testimonial, the coupon value will increase by 50 cents. The value continues to increase until the deal becomes a free package of hot dogs, or until the promotion ends, which is August 15th. So we'll see how that goes. But I think it's very cool to sort of envision how this can work from a Facebook application standpoint. Oops. Okay, so one more quick case study. So Clarisonic wanted to appeal to their fans' sense of goodwill and prosperity. And this is a theme that you will see very frequently used on Facebook specifically. There is a very big sense of community within Facebook. And I think what people are looking for, what people are interested in is more about social causes. It's more about doing the right thing for the planet, for other people, giving to charities, social good. So a lot of companies are picking up on that, and they're doing Facebook promotions and Facebook campaigns around those topics, and those have typically performed very well. So this is an example of Clarisonic. Clarisonic started a fundraising campaign for Look Good, Feel Better, which is a program that helps women who are battling cancer cope with treatment-related skin changes and hair loss. So the idea here is that every time there is a new like on its Facebook page, Clarisonic will contribute a $1 donation to this cause. It made it fun and easy for people to share the program with their friends they designed different calls to action that visitors could choose to share. And as a result, they generated over 30,000 new likes on their page. So another sort of creative example, they're not selling product, they're not necessarily pushing for you to buy something specific, but they are creating a lot of stickiness and a lot of goodwill through this application. Does anyone have questions at all about the case studies or about Facebook applications? Yes?
Okay, you mentioned the Facebook Times. So for example, you had business Wednesday to Thursday. So that would be stupid with my question, but what do you do with that information? Do you have your contest, for example, during the peak times? I would imagine that's an obvious one. But what are some things to do and not to do with the off-peak times and the peak times?
Well, I think it's a good idea to funnel more resources into the peak times, and of course test it, because just because the industry average says one thing, it may not work specifically for your business. So I always say, test it and use your own data. But I think it's a good idea to look at that type of information and then funnel some additional resources like your contests. If you're launching a big initiative, it might make sense to launch it on a Wednesday instead of a Tuesday, for instance. And you may want to up the response time, within those couple of days when you're seeing more action within your Facebook. Just make sure that you're really on it, you're really focused on it. And make sure that you're posting more updates and more frequently during that time.
And the off-peak times?
I think you still want to have a presence. We always tell our clients, if somebody posts something on Facebook, you always want to respond, even if it's positive. I think sometimes we get in the mindset of, oh, we just have to do damage control. If somebody writes something negative, we have to make sure we're there and make sure we apologize or make sure we handle it. But it's good also to say thank you if somebody writes something really nice. If somebody compliments one of your products or talks about an experience they had, it's great to respond. And again, that's how you create super fans. So I think it's always important to respond, But I think that it also is important to make sure that you're allocating resources appropriately, because social media can start to take up a lot of our time if we're not careful with it. Does that make sense? Yes?
What exactly of these two case studies did Marcel Media actually execute or was paid to do? Because I know it looks like, I don't know if the apps were done by a third party, software like Wildfire, Buddy Media, or any of those, or if you guys are just being paid for the strategies, so you do social and search, where do you come in that?
Great question. So essentially what happens is, and we did not do these two case studies, these are just case studies that anyone can have access to, they're on the web. But what we do is our clients bring us in for strategy, implementation, execution, reporting, and analysis. So we would bring in these tools to set that up for our clients. Most of our clients are not ready for this type of work. They're not set up technically. With applications specifically, there are software systems that can help, but typically you do need to develop the applications yourself, and that is a specific skill set. It's not typically an HTML developer. It's not the same guy who does the website. So we bring all of those resources in. The way I describe it to our clients is we do the heavy lifting on the technical side, and we do all of the organization, strategy, but you do most of the updates and the implementation. So we're there to help represent, and we're certainly redundancy and backup. So if an escalation comes up and all of our clients are at an offsite meeting, we're there to either pull down that update or respond to it and help out. But we believe that social media should have a unique voice. It shouldn't come from the agency. It should definitely come from the actual client side and the people who are closest to the products and the services. But we provide that sort of blanket coverage for everything else. Yes?
Are your Facebook Times and industry data, Twitter, similar or completely different?
Pretty different, actually. I don't have the facts with me today, but we have done some analysis of that, and it is sort of different. Yes?
The software you mentioned, or the platform Wildfire, to help with this type of stuff, can you use that to build applications? Like, is there anything where you can, like, simple drag and drop type of thing?
I think Buddy Media is probably the closest. I don't know. We don't work with Buddy Media or Wildfire, so I don't know specifically. But is anybody here working with Buddy Media? I believe they have templates that you can kind of plug and play. But they're going to charge you probably for additional things like hosting the app and things like that.
But otherwise, like Wildfire, you would have the app developed, place it on your Facebook page.
Correct.
And then this type of software helps
Kind of manage it and monitor it. Exactly. Yes?
Just a quick question. I know that one of your measurables is engagement, and may not necessarily be followers, but I noticed like in the case study that it says as a result they generated so many thousands of followers.
Right.
How would you take that further to the boss of Clarisonic and say this was successful because of why?
Right. And we don't have access to that data, obviously, on these case studies, but we do, with our clients, look at a much deeper level of data. So we would look at a lot more data, like conversion rates that were impacted by Facebook, conversion attribution, which is available within Google Analytics. So, following the funnel or the path that people took, which oftentimes involves an organic search, Facebook clicking on a display ad and then ultimately converting or some other similar path. So we look at things like conversion attribution. We would also look at engagement metrics. So we talk all the time with our clients about, the first level, like the impressions data is sort of the number of fans. But then a level deeper than that is how many of them then engaged, how many of them engaged multiple times, how many of them were return visitors versus new visitors. So there is a lot more data that you can dive into when you have access to that data. And certainly you also want to look at the correlation between your website traffic and any campaigns that you're running. You do hope to see an overall lift, if not direct correlation from driving referral traffic from Facebook to your website. And again, that may not always be the goal, but typically our clients are going to be happy to see that sort of rollover.
Okay.
Yes?
You had mentioned in the very beginning that there's like 500,000 Facebook applications, but then you mentioned there were four main ones